The Mac is back!
The Mac is back!
Hi, I'm Matt and today I'll be reviewing the new mini LP, the fourth proper album from the man with all the panache, Mac DeMarco. Mac's brand of off-kilter jangle pop is influenced heavily by psychedelic music, but it's a little less progressive and more towards pop. And although we're all influenced by the Beatles, there certainly is a lot of that in Mac's music, John Lennon especially in the vocals. I think his songwriting has some strong Harry Nilsson ties, and he even did a really impressive Elvis baritone on his first record, Rock and Roll Nightclub. But I don't think that Mac's rock and roll is just a conglomeration of his influences. I think he has a lot more to offer, and since the beginning he's delivered a very unique and consistent sound, only perfecting and honing his craft over his 3 albums. And along with his spry and ephemeral songwriting comes tremendous personality. He's managed to create this very specific aesthetic and this laid-back, chill, slacker persona that his cult following of very young fans really aspires to. It's this image that serves to market and sell his music and brand in a way that just writing good songs simply and sadly can't nowadays. And he definitely gets his share of hate because of this, people that wish he'd just grow up and mature a little. Personally, I think that his iconic immaturity is really lovable, pure, and genuine. Not only do I think he's truly a hilarious guy, but I see him as a really talented musician, songwriter, and producer. On another one, Mac gives us even more of his wobbly, shimmering guitars and his trademark tropical vibes. In my opinion, it's an improvement on every front, but I think what struck me most is Mac's enhanced sense of melody on this album. The first 3 tracks alone provide more visceral and catchy vocal lines than on his first 3 albums combined. Trust me, I've enjoyed all of Mac's work so far, probably Salad Days the most, but I've never been too impressed with Mac's vocal range or melodic creativity. And actually more than a few songs of his begin and hover around the same interval. And I don't think that these new melodies are sprawling or reaching crazy high notes or anything. I just think that they're a little more diverse in structure, especially on songs like the opener, The Way You Love Her, or A Heart Like Hers. And I really love the lyrical perspective on The Way You Love Her as well, a song of wishes and what ifs that really sets the emotional tone of melancholy that pervades these 7 tracks. And yeah, I realize there's an 8th track, but I'm not counting that one. Every song here deals with Mac either losing love or longing for love, and really opening up a lot more than he has on his past albums. And there's a really interesting duality to DeMarco's music as well, especially on this work, as his most heartbreaking poems are set to these really perky and bouncy beats. Songs like No Other Heart and I've Been Waiting For are deceptively pretty sad. You don't even really notice the words during what seems to be very lighthearted tunes. I really like this aspect, and more than ever in Mac's music, I find myself going back to try to discover and understand specific lyrics that may give me a glimpse into this guy's fascinating existence. Another key element of Another One is the use of synths. I really hope that this would carry over from Salad Days on songs like Passing Out Pieces or Chamber of Reflection. The title track Another One especially just has these incredibly serene synths that just pulsate throughout the entire song. This is just a beautiful progression and probably my favorite song. This song frames the album title not only as a very lazy way to name just another album, but also as the central lyrical theme. To think of Mac actually being suspicious about his significant other's fidelity is really interesting because it kind of makes him vulnerable. I find this to be a very likable side of him. Finally, I think that this mini LP format of just 8 really short tracks is probably the best one for Mac's music and communicating it. I find that his music is good for, a short mood, a short vibe, but I find that these kind of descend over the length of the albums. The albums kind of peter out and become a little more mundane, at least for me. And so, I think he's shown himself to be a very prolific artist, releasing an album almost every year since his start in 2012. So I think it'd be really cool and a great way to communicate with his fans for him to release these shorter albums or these EP length albums, every year. That'd be awesome. So again, this is a thoroughly enjoyable album, and I definitely recommend it. Great bass lines, great synths, more great guitars from Mac, an improvement on the depth of his songwriting and lyricism. Overall, a 7.5 out of 10. Mac's music really hasn't changed a lot, but I'll be a fan of his as long as he decides to make it. And I really hope that, his fading from popularity over time really doesn't change his music at all. Thank you so much, seriously, for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you can, if you get a chance, if you get a little time, please check out my teaser video for my first EP, From an Orchard of Flame. I'm going to put a link in the description below.